Medicaid has strict eligibility standards based on medical needs, financial resources, and income, but many of us may simply not know enough about it or may not take it seriously. So we've invited our expert in estate planning, David Carrier, here to help us from making some of those common Medicaid mistakes, because the rules are pretty clear, but most of us don't know what they are.
Yeah, I would argue with you on the rules being clear. The rules aren't clear, right? And in fact, most of the time, you feel like you're sort of like Alice in Wonderland through the looking glass when you say, I can't do this and I must do that. I mean, oftentimes the rules go directly counter to what we would think is common sense.
And so what are some of those, I think, big issues that most people may face?
Okay, so here are a few that we see over and over and over. And the consequences are severe. The consequences mean you lose the farm, you lose the house, you lose the cottage, you get investigated by Adult Protective Services, okay, and you didn't do anything. You could put your hand on a Bible, I didn't do anything wrong, and yes, you know, common sense would say you didn't do anything wrong. You're pure as the driven snow, but because you didn't follow the Medicaid rules, which are not common sense, now you're in trouble.
So is this something where, say, an adult child has then their parent in need of certain resources, and so that adult child may write a check or do certain kinds of activities to get reimbursed
exactly,
for,
like
they can't do it in a certain way?
Right, so nothing's more common than mom. This is one of the big ones. Mom's being exploited, dad's being exploited, the people on the phone, you know, and you've tried taking them off the checking account, you've tried all kinds of things, but those scammers are extremely good. And if mom or dad's name is anywhere on the account, they'll figure out how to get the money. So what the kids do is they say, okay, we don't want that, we'll put it in our name. Okay, so mom's name's not on it, and they have receipts, and they have perfect, you know, records of everything. Doesn't matter. To Medicaid, that's a gift. So whether it's, and we've had cases go from $30,000 to $200,000, right, where they moved it over, and it was all to prevent the scamming. We've got shoeboxes full of documentation why everything was spent correctly. Doesn't matter.
Okay, so then what does someone do then in order to protect that? So you don't want mom or dad to be in financial control because you're afraid of fraud, scammers, those sorts of things. Or maybe they just don't have the capacity anymore to make those decisions for themselves. But what do you do to do it in the correct way?
Well, you know, it's my favorite word in the world, trust. You know, you set up a trust where mom is not the trustee. She doesn't have signature authority, but the trust is used for her benefit. You haven't divested anything. You haven't run afoul of the Medicaid rules, and you've secured those assets. You know, another thing, over and over and over again, mom's living with you, or mom's still living at her house, dad's living at his house, but you're doing the shopping. So you go and you buy your stuff, you buy their stuff, you check out, and then you take the receipt and you circle all the things that were for mom. And then mom gives you a check for $100 or $50 or whatever it is, right? That's a gift.
Okay.
You say, well, wait a second, I got the receipt. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
As far as they're concerned, it's a gift. Or your daughter is home from nursing school.
Okay.
Okay, or your son. And, you know, for $10 an hour, they'll keep an eye on mom, which is better than $25 an hour to a service. That's a gift, too.
Okay. Even though it is actually they're being hired or compensated for providing a service for them.
Exactly.
So once you establish this trust, then, does every transaction go through the trust, and then that is how it's documented?
That's one way to do it when you've got the scammers. When you're just buying groceries from mom, when we haven't gotten to that point, right, when we're not really worried about the scammers, well, then you get a debit card for mom.
Okay.
And you just check out, it's a pain in the butt, but you check out twice, and now it's because it was never a problem for mom to buy groceries. That wasn't the problem. The problem was the way you did it. And so often with this stuff, you're doing good things. We have a case just this week, about $114,000 billed to the nursing home because the child, right, who was responsible for doing the Medicaid application, got a lot going on. And it's kind of easy to ignore those letters from DHS and all. Well, it's it's close to $120,000. Pretty soon it'll be $120,000. Dad's in hock to the nursing home. They don't like that.
Right.
And now they're going to start looking for who to blame. And you said, sure, Mom, make me power of attorney. I'll do the power of attorney. Well, now you're on the hook.
Right, exactly. So let's talk about the life plan workshop, because I know what you want to do is help people establish all of this before they get to this critical time.
It's all about making the rules work for the people who play by the rules. Our number one goal, our families don't go broke. They don't go broke. Number two, we're going to make sure the caregivers are paid. And then last and least, we're going to make sure that the kids get what they have coming to them.
Right, exactly.
But the key here is, and they're actually trained. Attorneys are trained not to do this, right? They're trained to go through probate and not to pay attention, because I just had 2 attorneys going through the training course. This was no part of it. Okay, and in fact, they went the wrong way, in my opinion, in the training. So to make the rules work, to make sure that people don't go broke, that means you have options. And that's what we talk about in the life plan workshop. That's the starting point for this, is how do we make sure that your stuff lasts as long as you do?
That's right. And then maybe have some left over.
Well, wouldn't that be nice?
The people that you are leaving behind. So if people are interested in getting in touch with you, I know that you and your team have taken some really great precautionary measures because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Right.
You're still seeing people in your office, but it's very safe.
Oh, we've got plexiglass. In fact, I just put in ultraviolet lights in the air conditioning. You know, I don't know if they work or not, but they're supposed to. So
yeah, there you go.
Anything we can do, it's all about playing it safe. It's all about making sure that the rules do work for the people who play by the rules.
Yeah, thanks, David. And of course, your website's a great place to check out all that information. Thanks for stopping by EightWest today. And of course, stay right there. More of EightWest when we come back.